Let's set the scene. Picture a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room. A mix of suits, serious faces, and cameras rolling. It's one of those typical Capitol Hill sessions that start calm but then, boom, becomes a clip you see online where Senator John Kennedy zeroes in on a top immigration official, not a Democrat general in the military sense, but a senior advisor to the Biden administration, with one simple, sneering line. President Biden, and all of you believe in open borders, don't you? That's the moment the internet grabbed, bold, sharp, loaded with politics, the kind that clips go viral over. But let's unpack it, not just repeat the soundbite. Right off the bat, Kennedy didn't bring charts or wonky legalese. He went for straight talk, breakfast analogies and all, to frame his central claim. Either the Biden team believes in open borders, or they are so bad at managing the situation they couldn't run a food truck. That's classic Kennedy, blunt, pithy, sometimes humorous, always pointed. The crowd reaction was immediate, a reporter filming, a clip made for sharing, and a meme before the hearing even ended. But here's the real context people often miss. So Kennedy tried to corner the witness by boiling it down to, do they believe in open borders? How many have crossed illegally? Can they even give a number? When the witness couldn't give a clear tally, Kennedy delivered his punchline comparing the inability to answer to asking an oncologist what cancer is and getting, I don't know. Boom, clip moment. Contrary to how that clip got framed online, the hearing wasn't literally about whether the U.S. should have open borders. Technically, the hearing focused on ensuring the safety and well-being of unaccompanied migrant children at the border, a policy and humanitarian issue lawmakers have been debating for years. In other words, the official witnesses were there to talk about how the government is handling children who enter the country alone, not whether we should, all migrant welcome, open everything up. But Kennedy's question pivoted the entire moment into the larger debate about border security. So why did Kennedy go for that open borders line? It's not random. It's how messaging works in Washington. Open borders is a powerful phrase in conservative rhetoric. It evokes loss of control, chaos, crime, and national insecurity. Democrats typically don't use that phrase because they favor controlled entry and enforcement plus legal pathways. They push different talking points: border reform, humanitarian protection, asylum procedures. What Kennedy did was force the witness into defending or denying a label that Democrats would never embrace. It's like asking someone if they believe in chaos. Simple to answer with denial, but politically sticky to have denied on camera. That's exactly why that clip spread. It's not just comedy. It's a branding battle, open borders versus secure borders. Keep in mind, the clip doesn't show the whole exchange. When pressed, the administration official didn't say, "We believe in open borders." The witness corrected the premise by saying, essentially, "No, we believe in secure borders." That's important. It means the viral line wasn't a confession. It was a setup. Then Kennedy doubled down. How many illegal entries since Biden took office? No number. That's where the humor and outrage came from. This moment catches attention because it fits into several broader debates. Immigration is a big political flashpoint for years now. Debates over the southern border have been center stage in U.S. politics, from debates about war funding to asylum law reform. Republicans have been pushing strongly that border policies under Biden are lax. Criminals and cartels exploit the situation. The federal government can't even count how many people have come in illegally. Democrats counter by focusing on the need for humane treatment of migrants, asylum processing and legal protections, bipartisan border security funding, and occasional Democratic votes for funding enforcement agencies. Kennedy's question frames a debate in a way that expects Democrats to argue against their own priorities, like a rhetorical football. Republicans often emphasize security, enforcement, deportations, walls, detention. Biden policies enable cartels and illegal crossings, humanitarian concerns, asylum rules, legal pathways, protecting children, due process, humane treatment. What Kennedy did wasn't about policy nuance. It was about forcing a media moment that simplifies a debate into a one-line challenge. Do you support open borders? That's a line that plays well on social media, late-night monologues, and campaign ads. Let's zoom out. This hearing isn't an isolated incident. It fits a pattern of how immigration and border security are discussed on the Hill. Humanitarian concerns, asylum rules, legal pathways, protecting children, due process, humane treatment. What Kennedy did wasn't about policy nuance. It was about forcing a media moment that simplifies a debate into a one-line challenge. Do you support open borders? That's a line that plays well on social media, late-night monologues, and campaign ads. Let's not pretend this hearing was going to change the law. This was about clips, campaign messaging, reinforcing partisan identity. Kennedy knew exactly which line would trend. You believe in open borders. That line doesn't need context. It doesn't need explanation. It fits neatly into a TikTok, a YouTube thumbnail, or a cable news chyron. And in modern politics, that's half the battle. What made this moment resonate so widely isn't just Kennedy's performance. It's what voters are already worried about. Cities overwhelmed with migrants. Border towns stretched thin. Fentanyl and cartel narratives. Lack of transparency. Mixed messaging from leadership. So when Kennedy looks incredulous and says, essentially, "Are you kidding me?" a lot of viewers nod along. Not because they've studied border law, but because they don't trust that anyone's driving the bus. Honestly, not entirely. Open borders is a rhetorical exaggeration. No administration has literally erased border enforcement. Some of the chaos is structural and inherited. But fairness isn't the point of that moment. The point was to highlight dysfunction, and on that front, Kennedy didn't need to exaggerate much. The dysfunction speaks for itself. Democrats often lose moments like this because they speak institutionally. They avoid blunt language. They prioritize nuance over clarity. That works in policy papers. That viral clip of Kennedy mercilessly grilling a Democrat witness on open borders isn't just a moment. It's a window into how modern political messaging works. Kennedy leveraged straightforward language, a loaded phrase, and a bit of humor to create a media moment that reinforces a long-standing political narrative about border chaos. The witness's response was careful and corrective, but that doesn't make for the same viral impact. In short, the politics were loud, but the reality was a lot more procedural and less dramatic than the memes make it seem. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next.